like you. Every day, Lord, more like you. I wanna be someone you shine through, Lord, more like you. I wanna be more like you. Every day, Lord, more like you. I wanna be someone you shine through, Lord, more like you. I wanna be more like you. Every day, Lord, more like you. I wanna be someone you shine through, Lord, more like you. I wanna be more like you. Every day, Lord, more like you. I wanna be someone you shine through, Lord, and all more like you. And all the world will see it's you that shine across the world. And though I may fall down, you pick me up, shine across the world. And all the world will see it's you that shine across the world. And though I may fall down, you pick me up, shine across the world. Through my darkest nights, you're there beside me. The way and the light, you are leading me and guiding me. Through my darkest nights, you're there beside me. The way and the light, you are leading me and guiding me. And all the world will see it's you inside of me. And though I may fall down, you pick me up, it's getting better now. Through my darkest nights, you're there beside me. The way and the light, you are leading me and guiding me. Through my darkest nights, you're there beside me. The way and the light, you are leading me and guiding me. And all the world will see it's you inside of me. And though I may fall down, you pick me up, it's getting better now. And all the world will see it's you inside of me. And though I may fall down, you pick me up, it's getting better now. I wanna be more like you. Every day, Lord, more like you. I wanna be someone you shine through, Lord, more like you. I wanna be more like you. Every day, Lord, more like you. I wanna be someone you shine through, Lord, more like you. I wanna be more like you. Every day, Lord, more like you. I wanna be someone you shine through, Lord, more like you. I wanna be more like you. Every day, Lord, more like you. I wanna be someone you shine through, Lord, and
to the Expanding Your Search and Stopping for Directions podcast with Brent Bailey. And at the tech booth, Jody Cook-Bailey and Luke Cardio. We are growing our circles of connections and knowledge together with encouraging conversations and positive communications. And now, Brent Bailey.
And happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to Expanding Your Search and Stopping for Directions. It's Brent Bailey, and it's another great day. I've got a great show for you today. I've got corporate coach and leadership trainer Ronnie Doss with us today. He'll be coming out here in just a few moments. Right now, I'm joined over at the tech booth by my co-hosts and the cast of the show, Jody and Luke. Guys, let's get this show on the road. We got a good show planned for you today. Guys, lots to talk about as we do. You know, we try not to come on the air with anything less than a real shot in the arm here. So
right, absolutely.
We got a good show today. There's lots of things to talk about. Before we jump into what national days it is today, on this day in 1947, a young man from Charleston, West Virginia, broke the sound barrier. His name is Chuck Yeager. Of course, a lot of folks are familiar with Chuck Yeager, but today was the day in 1947 that he actually flew the little airplane that they had specially built just to break the sound barrier, and he did it on today. Now, a few years ago, I grew up very close to Charleston, West Virginia, just about 60 or 70 miles away, and he was probably, later in his life, he was 75, 80 years old, somewhere in that neighborhood. And he actually had been given one of those planes that he broke the sound barrier in. Huh. And he would, the airport in Charleston, West Virginia is named the Yeager Airport. So anyway, he had one there, and he was arrested as an older man for flying that plane underneath of the Kanawha River Bridge. Right in downtown Charleston.
I remember you showing me that.
How would they ever be able to catch him?
Well, when he landed,
yeah,
they were waiting for him, and then
I remember driving
the X-1 rocket plane.
Driving over that bridge or by that bridge, and you saying that, pointing that out.
They arrested him for that. So it's but anyway, I always remember what he said, that there was all this time they were leading up to breaking the sound barrier, and every time they would get close, the planes would start to shake and because they're coming up against that barrier, and it would scare everybody. But he actually pushed the throttle on down and went faster. Huh. And as soon as he broke the barrier, everything calmed down. And there's a lesson there.
Yeah, there is.
Seems like everything's shaking and everything's falling apart. Stay with it. Peace is on the other side of that. So.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So today was the day. Happy Chuck Yeager Day.
Yeah.
All right. So moving forward, what is the national days are we celebrating today? We got lots of them.
Yeah, let's just start right off the bat with the food.
Oh, that's our theme.
It's our theme. So National Dessert Day. There's more dessert days than like National Spaghetti Day or anything. Dessert Day.
And so we're supposed to. Yeah, I mean, there are chocolate chip cookie day and peanut butter fudge day.
It's almost like people like that stuff more.
You mean the United States has a health and obesity problem? Are you serious?
Right.
We're all diabetics and no. Don't speak that over us, that. Pastor Brent.
No.
So anyway, so we are participating today.
Are we participating?
I mean, if we are to participate today.
I think that was more of a statement. We are participating.
Yeah, if we're going to participate today, we do that by having some kind of dessert, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
What's your go-to?
Yeah.
What's my favorite, or what's the one I go to?
Yeah, that's your go-to.
Because, I mean, go-to is just chocolate, ice cream, or, something easy. I mean, ice cream is super easy.
Yeah.
So I like ice cream sandwiches, But my favorite dessert is the Banana Foster's Crepe from Papados in Dallas, Texas.
Yes.
That'll make you fall on the floor and quiver and shake and say, the Lord has touched me in this place right now. Hallelujah. It is powerful.
It's true.
It's powerful.
It is true. I think when we went there, we might have had some of we took youth there.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them actually turned their lives over to Jesus.
Well,
that day.
there were some of them that were planning on saying,
They
no,
repented.
Brent, no matter what you say, it's terrible. and they had the first bite in their mouth and immediately froze in their tracks.
they did.
They went, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It was awesome. So it was a great.
awesome.
So, National Dessert Day. What else is going on today?
It's National Be Bald and Be Free Day.
Woohoo! Take off your. Oh, wait, I don't have one. Today is the day that if you do have thinning hairline, just be free with it.
Yeah, we've got friends that
Sure.
are bald.
We know a lot of folks that are bald,
Bald and
and
beautiful.
my grandfather was as bald as can be. He looked like Captain Picard on Star Trek.
Yes. Every once
Own
in a while
it.
there was a hair or two
Sure.
coming out. He was. Yeah.
I'm going to fight that battle till I'm in the grave, though.
You
Hey,
can
you're
still
doing
be
pretty
beautiful. Look, The Rock got voted like the most handsome man in the
Yeah.
world, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not becoming on people like my friend Dr. Dave Martin are as bald
Yeah.
as a cue ball, but man, it works.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's all kinds of people that the bald look works for.
Works absolutely.
I look like I have a pack of Oscar Mayer hot dogs on the back of my head, so I'm not going bald at all. I'm going to fight that battle forever. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, what else is going on today?
National Stop Bullying Day.
Bullying.
Say it
Yes.
Correctly. Not bowling.
Not bowling,
bullying.
bullying. Yes, that's
Yes.
right. Today is the day where we, if that's happening, come on, let's all make a stand. We're better off doing this
Absolutely.
together.
Yeah.
Bullies at school have no place anymore. This is not the 50s.
Nope.
You know.
There are adult bullies too.
There
that we
are.
Come across.
There
and-
absolutely are.
And yeah, and we just stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
I like standing up to them. We actually had an opportunity to do that, didn't we? We were at the
We
movies.
did. We did.
And there was a gentleman there who was just giving it to the cast, not the cast, the staff.
Staff.
And because, everything's COVID shut down, and so he's giving it to them. I mean, just yelling at them and screaming, I want to come pour my own drink. And this dude is like, he's
taller
a good
than you.
3 or 4 inches
Yeah.
taller than me. I'm 6'5", so this guy's like 6'8",
Yeah.
and he's just rude. And Jody was ready to go over there and tell him
I
off,
was.
and I was
I
like,
was.
just be patient. And so we went to the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back. He sat right in front of us. It was like, wow. And come to find out, we knew
yeah.
him.
Yes.
And he has had a horrible run in his life. And
Yeah.
so, it doesn't really pay to be a bully even to a bully, because there's probably a reason why they're acting that way.
Right.
And he was going through a real hard time.
He really was.
Been through cancer and all kinds of things. He had lost a lot of weight, which is why we didn't recognize him at first. But,
Right.
this is the day to stop it. All right, moving on. Let's
Moving
go on to something else.
National Emergency Nurses Day.
Yeah. Oh man, let's give them a big
Shout
round of
out to
applause right now.
emergency nurses.
They are the, we love you right now.
Wow.
Yes, we do. I have a family member who actually was, she's not in the emergency room anymore, but she started out in the emergency room, and I know, she's doing better, and part of the reason is the emergency nurses that really took care of her
During
mom,
2020, those guys are they're the VIPs
They are.
right now.
They
The
are.
MVPs?
Yeah, the MVPs, VIPs, whatever they
Yes,
are.
both.
There's some kind of initials right now. So, but
Yeah,
they are
they're
the
awesome.
most valuable players
So
because
thank you. Yeah.
of everything that's been going on. So
Yeah.
thank you, emergency nurses. We appreciate you so
Yes.
much. So
And National Fossil Day. So if you're somebody that likes to study fossils,
okay. Today's also Jody's favorite day because she gets to do it every day. National Bring Your Teddy Bear to Work Day.
yes,
She gets to do it all the time. So
Mine is
Jody
just,
brought her fossil to work day.
Oh, Luke, good one. Good one. That's a good one.
No,
Oh
No,
man,
no.
that's
I'm
awesome.
actually
Let's
older.
talk about this real quick because
Yeah.
this is really something that Dunkin' Donuts is rolling out a
Yes.
ghost pepper flavored donut. I don't know why anybody would be needing that.
I bet. Do you think maybe they did it for like a social media thing?
I don't know.
Because people are gonna be doing that.
I just
People are gonna
can't
be
even
going on.
imagine how it tastes though. I mean, I just.
Hey, you've never had like sweet heat barbecue or anything?
I
like that?
have, but ghost peppers
Ghost
don't
peppers.
taste good.
yeah.
there are hot peppers that taste good. Ghost peppers do not.
I'm really
I don't
curious
think.
as how
I
it tastes.
personally don't think they taste good.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I'm not at all. But my tongue has got a sensitivity of like 0. So anyway, all right. That's what's going on in the country right now. Let's jump in with our guest as we begin to expand our search. My guest today is Ronnie Doss, and I have known Ronnie for a number of years, and he's just an all-around good guy. You know, we don't try and have jerks on the show anyway, but Ronnie's just a really great guy. He's participated in 11 different countries of corporate leadership training in 11 different countries. His client list is pretty impressive. He has done companies like American Express, AT&T, Eco Labs, the U.S. Air Force, the Mars Corporation, which that's not the planet. This is the Milky Way, the Starburst, Skittles, Mars bars, the candy company, and then Complexity Gaming, which is an esports team owned by Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys. He is close to right now coaching 50 different businesses each month around the country. He is the author of 2 books. The first one, Leading Lions, which was really the story of him working with NASA. And his most recent book is entitled Dig, and it focuses on the mindset of intentional tension. Both of those books are available on Amazon, and I'm so glad to have my buddy on the show right now, Ronnie Doss. Ronnie, what's up? How's it going, buddy?
Good, bud. How are you?
Man, it's been a while, but it's good to see you.
You look good, man. You look like you just keep getting younger every time I see you.
Look who's talking. I mean, I
Well-
feel like I'm talking to a supermodel or something.
Well, that's just one of my job titles. No, it's not. That's my wife, not me.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah,
It's
well,
good to see you, bud.
Man, it's
Good to
really
see
great
you.
to see you too. And I know that we caught you at an awkward time. You were just finished working out, and that's awesome. And it's good to see. How has it been since COVID for you? I mean, have you slowed down at all, or how's things been?
Not at all. You know, it's neat. Probably 3 or 4 years ago, we pivoted from just doing a lot of platform speaking to doing a lot of virtual coaching and training. I got involved with a network many years ago, and many of the people in that network businesses started asking me to coach them and do that virtually with Zoom sessions and Google Hangouts and Microsoft Teams and all that. And so I started doing that a lot. And then over the past couple of years, started doing it so much that when COVID came, it kind of was just a break from me having to go on the road at all. And now I just did a virtual training for NASA about a month ago, and some other big companies, but I do stuff with them pretty consistently. And a lot of people now are working remotely in these big companies. And so the businesses that I coach, I work with them I'll do a couple of sessions a month. Usually it's bi-weekly, 20 to 30 minute team sessions. And, I'm jammed with that, but it's been great. I'm grateful that we made that pivot and made that shift a few years back. And really, we haven't felt the COVID thing other than our own seminars that we have booked. We just did our first one here in Scottsdale. It's where my wife, Jennifer, and I and my daughters live. We did our first Ronnie Doss seminar training. It's called our Emerge event in Scottsdale. And we did that at the beginning of the year in February. And we had about 100 people there from 5 different states that flew in to be with us for the day. And then we had them booked out. We had February, we had June, September. And so we canceled those because the venue, that we used, they said they were going to be closed throughout 2020, which was very interesting. They let us know that at the beginning of the year, which I thought was kind of odd. Maybe they knew something we didn't know, but that's how that went down. But otherwise, it's actually, our business has actually increased because people are now doing more of the virtual stuff, and that's what we do so often. So
Awesome.
It's wonderful. I work hard, get up early, us being on Pacific time, do a lot of teams at like 7:30, 8 in the morning, East Coast time. So that's 4:30 here.
Whew.
So it's interesting to be up, and have a camera in your face at 4:30 in the morning, but it puts a demand on me to be up and and be ready to take on the day. So
that's awesome.
It's been a blessing in disguise, but I'm grateful that we made that transition.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So now you've actually been doing this for a while. This 11 years. I know that you've pivoted just recently, but 11 years you've had this full-time career of speaking and training and doing all this kind of stuff. Now the question that I know for me, I could answer it, but for you, do you still get nervous when you go to do something like this? I mean, is it something that, or are you kind of old hat to it now?
That's a question that I get asked a lot. So that would be a great reason for that question, is because I do get asked. People always, do you still get nervous going to do a training? And the answer is, for me, is always yes. And I think the reason for that, Brent, is simply because it matters a lot. And I think if you ever get to a point where it is old hat, maybe you're not putting enough of a demand on you to grow, or I would be putting enough demand on myself to grow. I read every day. I learn new stuff every day. I take ideas that I was taught many years ago and continue to tweak them and refashion them in a way to stay innovative. And fortunately, the companies that I'm blessed and fortunate enough to be asked to speak to are innovative and doing new things. And I feel like I have to keep myself in that space. Yeah. And so I try not to ever get too comfortable with it. If I think that I'm not nervous or it doesn't matter, then maybe I'm in the wrong space, the wrong game. I just watched an interview with, I think it was like Robert De Niro, with some of these A-list actors, and even like Tom Hanks. They even talked about how they still get nervous doing these big roles, and they step in one day of shooting, and they sometimes have even, believe it or not, these A-list guys have had almost like panic attacks, saying they needed to take a day off. Leonardo DiCaprio, I just saw something where he was saying that he had a panic attack day where they shut down shooting because they shut down filming because he was nervous about doing the role that he was in this one particular scene. And I think that's a good sign in a way. And so, yeah, I do stay in a place where it matters, but it really fuels me to plan and to prepare more. And what they say, proper planning prevents poor performance. So I try not to perform poorly. So I always over prepare, but I try and stay ready. But that feeling's definitely always there, for sure.
Our guest is Ronnie Doss. He's a corporate leader and a trainer across the world. And you said something right there I think is very, very key for a lot of folks, because you hear that saying, practice makes perfect. But actually, you said proper practice. And that's important, isn't it? Is to do the right kind of practicing.
Yeah, it's a Jim Rohn quote. It's like, practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes better. And I think you don't ever want to strive for perfection. You're just trying to get better. And I think a lot of times the problem with many people in any industry is that we can get to a point where we've created some success, but I think that, results can reinforce dysfunction. And I think some people can look out and go, oh, look at the results that we've produced. They're enough, but it reinforces a dysfunction where a person believes that they've capped or that they've gotten to a point where they're as good as they need to be. And I just don't think that you ever arrive at that place. And there's no saying that if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So I try to stay ready, but I also, tweak things and pull things directly down to wherever it is that I'm going or whoever it is that I'm speaking to. But you got to keep practicing stuff. Like, I still listen to myself when I do talks. I spoke in a church a couple of weekends ago. I did a Zoom session. I just mentioned doing a Zoom session with NASA. I recorded that, and then I listened to it, when I'm done. And it's like, I'm not listening to myself because I like to hear myself talk. I listen to myself because if there's little things that I can do to tweak how I'm presenting information to make me a little better, I think that shows value for what it is that I do, and value for the people that I'm trying to make an impact for, because at the end of the day, that's really what it's about. So if I keep getting better, I serve the people that I'm working with better.
All right. So as you're doing this, what are some things that people just don't have a good concept of? Maybe it's a misconception about leadership or personal development. What are some of those things that you're coming up against regularly?
Yeah, it's getting introduced as the person who's like a motivational speaker. People, I think that just, it's like, Ronnie's a motivational speaker. And
have you been in the basement drinking coffee for the last 5 hours, and you're sweating?
And I live in a van down by the river. So that's the kind of the misconception. Like, oh, Ronnie's going to motivate us. And I have there's actually a couple that I coached. I've coached them for many years. And when they called me, they asked me to coach them. They said, look, we've seen you speak. We know your material. Would you coach us? And I said, well, what are you looking to do? And they said, we're looking to get in better physical health. We're both overweight. We want to change that. And I said, well, okay. I said, tell me a little bit about your daily routine. And they told me, and they weren't exercising. They weren't eating properly and all that stuff. And I said, well, look, if you're not doing anything, personally right now, my question for you would be, what am I going to say to you to change that? Like, you at some point have to take on some personal responsibility and say, I'm going to at least take a little step forward in doing something. You can do that on your own. You don't need me. So I said, no, I'm not going to coach you unless you have some sort of a daily regimen where you're working out a little bit, or you have a group fitness program you're in. I said, that's a start. And so they said, so you're not going to coach us? I said, no, not unless you do that. They called me back that evening, Brent, and they said, look, we joined CrossFit. And so they went from nothing to CrossFit. Wow. So I'm like, okay, great. But they combined, I just flew home from Birmingham, Alabama this past week. A great friend of mine passed away, and went to the memorial service. And as I was flying home, I got a picture from them, and combined, I think they've lost about 140 pounds. And one of them showed me the picture and said, this is when you started coaching us, and this is where we are now. And it doesn't even look the same. I mean, the pictures are so different. But he told me that a friend of his said, I could lose weight and get in better shape if I had Ronnie Doss in my ear, inspiring me and motivating me every day. And what he said was, let me just make sure you're very clear. When I hang up the phone with Ronnie, usually I'm crying. It is not inspirational at all. It's pretty much a get in your face kind of thing. And I think that's a bit of the misconception, Bud. I really do. It's that people think that motivation is going to do it. And I had a mentor many years ago that I worked for about 4 years, that we knew, Mr. Clemmer. I worked for him, and he used to say all the time, he's like, motivation is not enough, and it goes away. And so I try to mix a bit of motivation and inspiration, but also this element of personal responsibility, that no matter how good you feel in the moment, you have to take the information and assimilate it into your day-to-day. And there's an old saying that information without assimilation is useless. Mm. There's a lot of people out there that have all this great information, and they know a lot of stuff on a head level. But if you look at their day-to-day practice, they're not up early, they're not disciplined, they're not managing their time. And I just said to myself, I don't want to be that. So if I'm going to talk it, I'm going to walk it. They say if you profess what you don't possess, you're a fraud. And so I just didn't want to be that. And so, taking insight from mentors that I had, I started saying, it's not enough just to be motivational. There's got to be some real applicable assimilation that happens every day. Wow. And pushing myself. And that seems to work, Brent. That works. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people just don't really understand. They hope somebody else is going to come along and say the right thing to them and motivate them. And, there's an old saying that says, if you're waiting on somebody else to motivate you, what happens if that person doesn't show up? And that's kind of my approach, Yeah. So
as we wrap up here, I know that this has been a year like no other, and I know that it's not an excuse for some folks or for anybody really, but as we do, face the things that we're facing right now, what's one piece of advice you'd give everybody to maybe finish out strong and finish up this year the way they need to be?
Without a doubt, handle yourself with care. I so many people that I work with, they are personalities, get it done, very young, very successful, making it happen in business. And sometimes they get very frustrated with themselves as you do when you're a person, entrepreneurial mindset. I study a lot. When I started working with NASA, I started studying SpaceX and Tesla and Elon Musk and some of his approach to things. And, when you have this entrepreneurial mindset, he said that being an entrepreneur is like chewing broken glass and staring out into the abyss. And it is kind of that way, being somebody who is really trying to make things happen in your life. I think we can be really hard on ourselves. And so I just try and remind people, handle yourself with care. You've never done this before. That's one of the things that I am always reminding myself is, Ronnie, you've never done this before. This is your first time being 10 years into a career where you do what you do. But also it's first time being a dad, first time being a husband, first time being all these, different things. You got to handle yourself with care. You got to provide yourself with some grace and some understanding and some patience. And I think we could all use that, especially right now when there's so much chaos. There's certain things that we need to anchor to. And I think that is that we're loved and we are valuable and that we need to take care of ourselves. And as we do that, I think it helps us to have a better vision for what's possible in the future. And it helps us to navigate through some of this challenging stuff that we're in right now.
My guest today has been Ronnie Doss. I'm going to put his information up on the screen. I highly encourage all of our guests that we have for you to reach out and get their resources and to follow them on social media. So there it is right there. His website is DossTeam.com. On Facebook, it's the Doss Team. On Instagram and Twitter, at Ronnie Doss. And if you want to see pictures of him working out, that's where you go, right there. And also
they're great pictures, by the way.
Always good ones. Always good ones. LinkedIn and YouTube, he's also there on Ronnie Doss. Man, Ronnie, I'm so grateful that you took the time for us today and to impart some really good things into our audience. We hope to, maybe see you face to face. We haven't done that since I think Dave Martin's conference here in Orlando is the last time I saw you. So, man, I hope that we can be face to face here real soon.
Yeah, me as well. I sat beside Dave and Christine this past week in Birmingham, and it was great to see them. But yeah, man, it'd be great to see you. Thanks for what you're doing. God bless you guys, and thanks for having me on.
All right. Thanks for coming and being with us, Ronnie. Have a great rest of your day, buddy. All right. That's Ronnie Doss. And now let's stop for directions. In this time of uncertainty in this world, I know that so many people are crying out to God that is just, and rightly so. And, the Bible tells us in 2 Peter that God has given us everything that we need for a godly life. He's given us promises. He's given us all kinds of things. He's given us His glory. He's given us, the one translation calls it precious promises. And it says that these promises enable you to share His divine nature. But then it goes on and lists about 7 or 8 things that you can be doing in order to make that happen. It says, make every effort to respond to God's promises. Supplement your faith with a generous provision of moral excellence, and moral excellence with knowledge, and knowledge with self-control, and self-control with patient endurance, and patient endurance with godliness, and godliness with brotherly affection, and brotherly affection with love for everyone. Then it says this, the more you grow like this, the more productive and useful you'll be in your knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. What Ronnie was talking about today is so simple. There are steps you can be taking to put with your knowledge and faith in God that cause you to actually be more effective in this world for yourself and as a light to others with that knowledge of Him. So I want to encourage you today, don't just sit back and wait for God to do everything. Look at what God's already provided, step into it, start walking in it, and be proficient in it. Learn every day. Listen to the experts. Pay attention to what somebody who's already there is doing. Then use your gift, your talent, your personality, and become proficient in what God's calling you to do. I know that you'll make a difference. It's in you. You can do it. All right? That's going to wrap it up for our show today. My thanks goes out to Ronnie Doss. Man, powerful words right there. Reach out to him at DossTeam.com. I want to thank Jody and Luke for another great show today. We love you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time with another great guest. I hope that you found what you were looking for as you took the time to expand your search and stop for directions. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for joining us today. Connect with us on @ExpandingYourSearch on Facebook and Instagram, and @ExpandingSearch on Twitter. Relive any of our episodes on YouTube. We are available wherever podcasts are found, including Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. You can also download the Direction Ministries app on iOS, Android, Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Take some time today to expand your search and stop for directions.